Mallikarjun.
Hi, Madhu. Hello.
Thanks for joining the session. So, I'm still waiting for audiences. So, if you have any doubts, you can ask so that I can clear it.
Sure, Madhu. Hi, Madhu.
Hello, hi, hi. So, Mallikarjun, how are you today?
Madhu, does anyone sharing the screen?
Uh, Screen share. I mean, I mean, only you joined the call. I'm still waiting for the participants.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
if you
I
have,
thought like many people joined. I cannot see the people, so I thought
Acha, okay, okay, no, no,
it is started or it is not started. I
okay.
doubt that.
So
Okay.
this is the first session, right? So even it is learning for me. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, it is very good one.
Yeah,
Like
thank
even
you.
in fact, I was able to like ask you that.
Okay.
Can whatever you have started it, you have this initiative.
Yeah, thank you.
So like how you are what like planning the session, Madhu? Like will it be a kind of daily basis or weekly basis?
It actually depends. So based on today's outcome, I will
Mm-hmm.
plan to see whether it would be a weekend session. So the my plan is like, so now we joined in a call, right? So this would be a live in the YouTube. So if
Correct.
anyone is interested
Okay.
to join, so they can join this
Okay.
call and I can clear out their doubts.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So they can share their screen and shoot out their queries, and I can.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that would be
someone is
perfect.
joining the call. Hi Sumit. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. So thanks for joining the call. So we have Mallikarjun also in this call.
Hi, welcome.
Hello, Sumit.
So Sumit, this is my first session. So if you have any queries that you want to shoot out on board boards, maybe you can shoot out, and I will try to help.
Yeah, sure. So basically, my question, what what my question will be is about the development of jobs. Okay,
Okay.
so currently I'm working in a project, right? And in that project, the developer who is a part of that project is developing a jobs, which are, for example, he has to develop a job on material management, right?
Okay.
So what I have seen with his development is he's making a very complex data flows. For example,
Uh-huh.
if let's suppose I have to extract a data, right?
Uh-huh.
And for four different tables, and put that into, let's say, in a staging or in a ODS, right?
And
So
Sumit,
what I have seen,
Sumit, sorry to interrupt. So
yeah.
before you go ahead, this is a live session in YouTube. So hope that is fine with you.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's okay, but
Okay.
it's a very generic question,
Yeah, yeah,
I
go ahead.
think.
Yeah.
I think. So what I actually wanted to know is while developing the data flows, right?
Uh-huh.
What is the best recommendation? As in, is it okay to develop a data flow, having the 4 or 5 data flows in a single flow, or to segregate a data flow for better readability? So, what is the SAP recommendation?
So it's always better to split up the database so that the performance would also be good, and it would be easy for us to organize the flows that we are doing. So basically now let's say, let's take about, see, you were asking about material master, right? So material master, it has multiple views, and each and every view the client want to load is different, right? So basically, like, maybe if you take about basic view, which has two tables, which is Mara and MAKT. Okay, so these two, what I would say based on my experiences, so it would be better if we create individual data flows for individual tables, so that at the end when you call the idoc or bapi, you can just group up all the things into one particular data flow, which is mandatory because you want to load everything, right? And then you can push. So basically, yeah, so this is how it would be best.
Yeah, but in our case, we are using the ABAP data flow. Okay,
Acha,
so we are extracting data through an ABAP data flow, right?
okay.
So now, basically, so we are using star schema, right? So we already have our master table loaded in a particular flow. So right, that is already there, right? So we are doing the incremental load for our master tables. But
Uh-huh.
then if we have to create a fact table, for example, right?
Okay.
In that scenario, so my question is really, I just wanted to know what is the SAP recommendation in terms of developing the data flow? Is it okay to to segregate data flows differently, to get a more readability, or to have a data flow, everything in one data flow, so that you don't have to create a separate data flow. If as a functional consultant you know the data well, right? So you can do different things with that data flow itself because you know the data, right? You know which are the different source tables that are being used, or what kind of transformation is required, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So my question is, what are the best practices? Because I have seen people who are really good with the data and the functional side of the things, right? They tend to create flows which are you know which you can see everything in one flow. As another developer, when you comes in and you don't have that much knowledge functionally, you tend to get lost in that data flow. So
Yeah.
that was my question. So how does industry, what are the industry best standards, what SAP recommends? Because I have been reading through the different documentation, where it says that you need to have a independent data flows wherein it helps in terms of readability and troubleshooting and stuff like that.
Okay. So, like, before I answer this question, so I would like to clear out few things. So I am see, I am from technical background, and I'm bots developer. Okay. So, and yes, so before we start, so SAP has given this tool which is bots, which has the ability to include everything within one data flow. But as you are asking about the best practices, so there might be cases wherein you will not have any other option, and you just need to do the complete logic within one data flow. So that is the case where you can't avoid splitting the data flows, for example. So in that cases you can use one data flow for everything. But again, when we talk about best practices, it's always best to split up the data flows into multiple data flows, and go ahead with the for logic.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Madhu.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I mean like after this session, just feel free to share your feedback so that it will be helpful for me. And also please subscribe to the channel and keep supporting me. And moreover, like in case you or your friends, if they have any queries or doubts in the BOD,
Yeah,
just
Madhu.
yep.
Yeah, Madhu. So I already subscribed to the channel. So just a question. It's a general question.
Sure.
So on your YouTube channel, so are you going to conduct sessions like this, or you are going to put, videos going forward? So what are your plans
So my intention was
in terms of your channel? So how?
yeah, got it. So my intention is like I'm planning to put these live sessions wherein like if someone has any questions, they can see. Now this is a call, right? We are in a Zoom call, so wherein you can share your screen and you can shoot out your doubts, which maybe I might not be 100% and who can solve it, but I will try my best to give a solution to that. So this was my intention.
Okay, so these will be okay. Also, are you going to put any videos? Because yeah, I mean, any videos wherein you can put your experience. For example, I have seen, lookups
Yeah.
are being used very oftenly in any data flow. So there are different kind of lookups in bots here. So are you going to put those kind of videos which are very generic and are being used day in day out when you develop a bots data flows?
So, so to answer this question, so I don't have any educational server with me to do a record and post it in the YouTube. But in case if I have some
Okay.
access, I can definitely create
But
videos out of that and
but I think I have leased out one
That
server.
would really
So maybe if
really
in
help,
case,
Madhu. Like if you can record the session.
okay.
Like say suppose there is a concept like cross-refs and VLOOKUP concept, right?
Yeah,
If at all you record the session, if you get any
yeah,
chance, if you record the session and if you keep those videos in YouTube,
yeah. Okay.
such that a person like me who has started that learning the bots can go to the videos of your channel and
yeah.
can just learn it.
Okay,
But
definitely I will
Madhu,
try.
Like there are
Madhu,
some concepts, right? XREF
I
concept, VLOOK. Yes, Sumit, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Madhu, I do have a server, so let me check if I still have the access
Okay.
because I have not used that. It's for educational. I leased it for the practice.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check. And if you, how can I reach you? If I have to share the details, can you just put in your email address in the chat box? I can check and I can share the details with you. And then probably if you record
Mm-hmm.
those generic, videos, as my friend said, that people are new to bots and these concepts are being used very, readily when you develop a job, right? So
Sure.
so that those will be very helpful, I think.
Definitely. Sure, I'll do that. Maybe like in the chat, like can you just key in your email ID? So I'll send you a test email.
Okay, let me just put that in the chat. Just a second.
Yeah. And just out of curiosity, I'm asking this question. So, I mean, is anyone checking the YouTube? Like, is our audio available in that by any chance?
Yes, Madhu, I
I
checked it.
was
Like
on the
it was
YouTube.
like 10 seconds delay.
Acha.
It was only 5 to 10 seconds delay.
But audio is
But
clear.
it is very clear and good. Yeah, yeah, it is very clear and good.
Okay. Thank you. This would be really helpful for me for the further
Yes,
reference.
Sumit, you can go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Sumit, I see like you have keyed in your email ID. Maybe like after this call, I will just send you a test email from my mailbox so that you will get my ID.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I will check the server details, and yeah, whenever you want to record anything, you
Sure.
can let me know.
Yeah, that would be really great and helpful. Thank you so much for that.
No, no problem, man.
Madhu,
I
like
can
I
do
have
that
a doubt.
much
Will
for
it
you
be
because now,
Sorry.
Yes, Sumit, you completed your question. Sumit?
no, you can go ahead. Sorry, you can go ahead. There's a lag, I guess.
Okay,
You can go
okay,
ahead.
Madhu. What I'm asking is like in the same call, will it be feasible to you to share the BODS screen so that that I have few questions related to the to the navigation and
So now
the
the
windows.
yeah, yeah. So if you're expecting now, like I mentioned earlier, I don't have educational server with
Oh,
me. I have a
okay.
client server which
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
supposed to due to
Ah,
confidentiality.
okay.
But yeah,
Okay, okay. Now
or
it
if
is.
you have it and if it's fine with you and if you can share, I can just go through that.
Yeah, because right now I don't have any kind of
Okay,
access to BODS right now, so like that
okay,
was the reason I was asking.
okay.
Okay, okay, Mother, thank you. Now it is. Yeah.
Madhu, if anyone doesn't have any other question, I do have one question.
Yes, please go ahead.
Uh, so it's about, uh, you know, a couple of weeks before, we had this requirement wherein we have to pull data from an REST API. Okay, so the REST API is using the Elasticsearch, right? And then in that REST API, the data was stored in arrays, right? Because REST API was has a backend as an Elasticsearch, and data was stored in an arrays, and there is a lot of nested data.
Okay,
So I basically used there is this SAP knowledge base article wherein you can use the REST data store.
mm-hmm.
You can create an XML and you can call the REST data store through a custom function.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently what's happening is I was not able to get the data, because as I said, it was the application was using Elasticsearch in the background, and the data was in an array, and that's why it was not giving me the complete schema altogether.
Okay,
So now my question is, have you come across the situation wherein you have to call a REST API using the REST data store, right? And because yeah, I find it that it can be a bug with SAP itself, right?
mm-hmm.
And I haven't raised it with SAP, but my now question is, uh, have you come across this situation, or do you have any idea, read it somewhere? Because I find it this is a bug,
Mm-hmm.
because what I did afterwards is I there is this third party provider called CData.
Okay,
So they have this ODBC driver
mm-hmm.
for REST API.
Okay,
So I used the trial version, and then I was able to get my schema all completely, right.
oh, okay,
But then with the then with the functionality which SAP gives us,
mm-hmm.
but the REST data store was not working altogether. So
Okay,
it looks like it's a bug with SAP,
mm-hmm.
right? But then I was not able to raise it with SAP because of some contractual issues.
Okay.
But then have you seen this kind of behavior, or have you worked on any REST API extractions
Yes.
with SAP BODS?
Yeah, yeah. Just for a
Okay.
pause, I think like someone new person, Bishan joined. Hi, Bishan. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, hi Madhu.
So basically, this is my first video session, and I'm just trying to clear. My background is SAP BODS, so I'm from technical. I'm just trying to clear out the issues that I can help, or it would be a good kind of group discussion where each one can help ourselves. So right now,
Yeah.
we have Sumit and Mallikarjun also in this call, and Sumit has one query about REST API. So yeah, so
Mm.
that's it.
Yeah,
So maybe once we are done with Sumit, maybe we can check with you. Okay.
yeah, sure.
Yes, Smith. So now back to you. Yeah. So on this REST API thing, like I worked on 1 year back, and it was a smooth experience for me. So basically, like you mentioned, we have created a new data store within bots, and the type, basically the data store type would be REST, web services REST, and probably they will be given you one WADL link, right, Sumit?
Sh- Sorry, can you repeat it again, please? There was some lag.
Sure, sure. So what I was telling is like, yes, I worked on.
Hello?
Can you hear me, Sumit? Am
Yeah,
I?
yeah, I can hear you now. Yes, yeah, go ahead.
So I'm just trying to answer your question. So 1 year back, I have worked on a REST API, and my experience with that was smooth. So the way how we connected is like you mentioned. First, we created a data store, and the type would be web services REST, and then probably you might be given some web service URL, right? WADL link.
Yeah, right,
So
right.
so using that, we are able to create a data store, and once the data store is created, we will be having functions within it. And then once you import the functions,
Mhm,
the XML will be imported, and that you can be able
mhm.
to create. It's like normal, create a job, data store, and file format. Basically, you need to
Yeah,
create
yeah,
a file
that's
format.
true.
Yeah.
That's that's true. That's true. But then I was able to create a data store. I was able to call a function. I
Okay.
was able to create a job.
Okay.
But then the schema
Uh-huh.
which was in the background was not coming completely through because
Oh.
of the fact that the data was stored in an array because in the background, there was this XML,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the data was stored in an array, right?
Okay.
And it was not the bots function was not able to parse that field where the data is stored in an array.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but I think that it can be a limitation with the custom function or the REST data store,
Mm-hmm.
which needs to be raised with SAP. I don't know because as I said, when I used the C data ODBC driver,
Mm-hmm.
that driver was able to parse it without any issues, right?
Okay.
So yeah, uh, yeah. So the only reason I discuss this
Mm-hmm.
is to just to know your opinion because yeah, I know the REST data store does work when the schema is straightforward, but in our case there was a lot of nested schema, and in that nested schema there was data which is stored in an arrays in a tuples, right? And that's where bots was not able to parse it,
So
right?
Sumit, like just to understand one thing, when you say arrays, so probably that is kind of nested structures in BODS, right?
In the source data itself,
In the source data,
the
yes.
source data has a nested structure.
Yes, yes. So when you have
Source data
array,
has a Mhm.
no, please go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was
Yeah, you go ahead, please.
I
I'm
was
listening.
telling that when you say arrays, so that would be kind of nested structures in BODS, right? Multiple nested
Right, right,
structures. So I mean, I
right,
worked on a
right,
scenario
right.
where I have a nested structures, and maybe it might be some authorization issue or something maybe. And by the way, which version were you using at that point of time when you have created?
Uh, I I'm using, I think, 4.2 SP14, the
Ah,
latest
the
one,
latest one.
SP12 or SP14, I don't remember.
Okay.
It's the latest one, yeah, yeah.
As far as I remember, 14 is the latest, and I was using that, and I didn't face any issue. Maybe it can be a glitch as well. Never say, can't say anything on that because it happens in bots sometimes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, because I find that it can be a bug with the function itself.
Maybe, yeah.
But for that, we need to raise it with SAP, which I didn't.
Okay.
But I'm thinking I have posted a question on the SAP forum as well as
Okay.
on the bots forum,
Okay.
but nobody has responded yet.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. Sumit, we lost you. If you are still
I'm
saying
I'm
something.
No, no, I'm thinking to write and maybe a knowledge base. Maybe, yeah. Let's see in coming days.
Okay. Uh, Hi Bishant. So you want to ask anything?
Yeah, just one want to clarify one concept. In BODS, we are using try and catch, right?
Yes.
So So I can understand the functionality like we want to capture the specified errors, right, which is predefined in that try statement that various checkboxes are there.
Yes.
So, but my question is like, what if you are not using that? So will that not BODS will throw any error, or will that we will not be able to comprehend that error if it throws?
Okay.
So
So basically, the fund of try and catch is like, now let's say you have some error within your data flow and you didn't use try catch. So basically, the job will fail. Now, if you want to use a try catch, and if you want, instead of failing the job completely, and if you want to catch some exceptions, so in the catch block you can write any further scripts, and going forward within that catch block itself you can write some additional logics if you want. So this is the main difference. Now let's say if you didn't use try catch, the job will definitely fail and stop at that point. But if you use try catch,
yeah,
further actions can be carried out using that with the help. So that
that
feasibility we
is the
have
only
it.
difference. Okay, okay. So apart from that, the error wise, it will be throwing the same error, right?
Yes,
You were
yes,
telling.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You can catch the errors and you can write any
Only
additional
the,
logics.
the part comes in the catch part, right? That in
Yes,
because try is just the description, we will have that errors, right?
yeah, yeah.
But in the catch part is that if it fails and what action you want to do, that part will be in the catch part,
Yes, in the
right? If
catch
you
you can
want to,
handle multiple scenarios. Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, thank you. So that was just a small clarification.
Yeah, okay, okay, Vishant. And Vishant, like like I told, this is my first session, and please support me by subscribing to my channel if you haven't, and feel free to share with your friends about this. So, like
Yeah, yeah,
any
sure.
feedback would be helpful, so that it will be helpful for
Mhm.
me for organizing new sessions going forward.
Okay. Okay, yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Welcome.
And also, Bishant, not only this, if you have any other further technical questions, you can share your screen, and we can, if not me, but someone else also could try to help that in solving your issues. So that is one more intention of this call.
Okay, so right now I not have such a maybe later. I was not prepared much for this session. I thought just want to know what is this session about.
Okay. Uh, anyway, like one more thing, like I would wholeheartedly say thanks for all of you, because your feedback would really help me, and I'm lucky to have this session to conduct this one. Yeah, I think yeah, maybe like if there is nothing else, maybe we can drop off for today, and let's see for my next session.
And also, like, I wanted to thank you, Mother, for the organizing these sessions. And also, we request you to please organize such a sessions in the future as well.
Sure,
From
sure.
the next session, we keep all the questions in a mannered and structured way so that we can just come up with all the questions and the queries.
Sure.
Since this is a first session, same like this one, I haven't prepared much.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Okay.
we request you to please organize such a sessions
Sure,
such
definitely.
that it will be like very helpful in our technical career. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Mother.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Sumit, hello.
Yeah, yeah, Madhu. Thank you so much for this session. I
Yeah,
was on mute, sorry.
no problem.
And I look forward to your sessions. And yeah, let me. You can send me a mail.
Sure, sure.
I'm gonna check if that server is still active because I have not been using that for long. I
Okay.
need to check that, but I'll check and I'll get back to you. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Madhu. Have a good day. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Bye bye. Yes. So thanks everyone. So this was my first session, and I really appreciate everyone who joined this, and thanks a lot.